Kia ora team, let's build a website. So this is a small assessment task, putting together everything that you've been learning over the past couple of weeks. So you are going to create a 1 or 2 page website all about you. When you've finished, screenshot the website pages, the HTML and CSS files, and then pop them into your OneNote and submit. So everyone is going to follow sequential instructions, so that's instructions one after the other. They are on this sheet. You'll use Visual Code Studio. You're going to create an index.html file, a style.css file. You're going to link the two together. Some of you will manage to create a second page as well, and some of you will experiment with styling that second page so it looks a wee bit different from the first page. This is your achievement criteria. So let's get into it. The first thing that you need to do is answer these questions. So you can see I've done that, and there's little boxes, and tick when you've done them. The next thing that you're going to do is create your project folder. So we're going to create a folder onto our desktop. It's going to be called About Me. Within that folder, there's going to be a new folder, and it is going to be called Images. We're going to place the images we want in the website to use on the website into that folder, and name them simply and carefully. They should be lowercase. Let's go and do that. So I'm just going to minimize and minimize. Here is my folder. It's called About Me. In it is one folder. It's called Images, lowercase, really important. And within here I've got 3 images that I want to use. Now I'm on a networked computer and it's not allowing me to change the names. Ideally I want them in the first letter needs to be in lowercase. What you can see is that the names are quite small. So I can close that. We'll go back to our instructions. So I need to now open the Visual Code Studio and open the folder. We're going to create the index file, the HTML, and we're going to create the style.css file. We're going to get the metadata. Let's go and do that. Alright, so I'm on a nice fresh page. I can say here open folder. I know I put it on my desktop, so I'll navigate there. It is called All About Me. No, it's called About Me. There it goes. Highlight it, select it. And I can see it is now opened here, and if I open the images folder, I can see my 3 images. So that's fantastic. The next thing I'm going to do is hover over that new file icon, click it. I'm going to call it index.html, and I can see these little angle brackets beside it. So now I can press enter, and I know that that's okay. Oh, actually, it's in the images folder. So let me pull it out. There we go. Alright, I'm going to make my next file, which is the style.css. Oh, and I've incorrectly spelt that. Spelling's going to be really important so that you can direct the browser to find it. So it is called style.css. It's got the hash and it's outside my images folder, so that's great. Now you can see my index page with the angle brackets. It's gone yellow and it's got a 1 beside it, so it's going there's a styling error, or sorry, there's a content error here. So we're going to fix that up. On that Napier 1931 website we had some metadata. Rather than typing it all in, we are going to press Shift ! I better be on the right file. Now that's a good trick. So right now I'm on the style.css folder. So if I hit Shift ! It does nothing. So let me get onto the right file, index, Shift ! It gives me these 2 options. I'm going to select the single exclamation mark and click enter. And lo and behold, here is all of this metadata that we need. Now I'm just going to do a bit of splitting things up so I can see things clearly. and I would suggest you pause and do exactly the same. Now, explanation. The very top line is declaring that this doc type is an HTML file. The second line is saying that it's in English. This is important. The browser will be looking and saying, what language have you written this information in? How do I interpret it? Now, this HTML tag has a closing tag, and that is the one that's right at the bottom, so angle tags / HTML. Alright, we've now got this head stuff, and that inside that is what we call metadata. It's information that the browser needs to interpret what we've created, but it does not actually show on the page. However, it's super important. For instance, this line here, line 6, tells the browser the keyboard type, so it knows what special characters we've used where. Different keyboards, the same special characters are on different keys. We've got this title here. We can change that to about me. Actually, I'll put a gap there. And that means when I open the page, the tab up here will say about me. So that's cool. Then we've got the opening body tag and the closing body tag, and everything that goes within here is going to show on my page. Alright, now what is... Alright, my style page, I've got nothing on it yet, but we will soon. Back to my index, we need to link the two. Well, let's go back to the instructions actually. We'll check, because we better do things in the right order. So we've done that. We have got our metadata. We've just changed that document tag here so that it reads to about me. Now the next thing, we need to copy this line of code here, Control C, and it says on the HTML file under the title tags, paste this line of code, and it's going to link the two. Oh, better make that correct. We're not putting it in a folder. It's good that I'm talking you through this in real time. Alright, paste this line, that's correct, of code. So Control C. Jump back onto the correct file, and underneath the title, Control V, we're pasting it. So it's this bit here, href, which is hypertext reference, and it's saying go and find the style.css file, which is this. So that's all good. Let's see what happens next. And remember, we're busy ticking things off, and actually we need to save things as we do them as well. We're now going to add some structure. So between the opening and closing body tags, we're going to add various tags in, like we did with the Napier 1931 website. We're going to create a header, we're going to create nav, we're going to create an area for main content, we're going to call it article, and we're going to create a footer. So let's leap into here, and I will show you something really cool. So I'm going to put my cursor beside body, the opening body tag. I'm going to click enter. You can see it's indented. That's really cool because it's going to help me with readability. I need to create a header tag. Now you can see it's showing up here. If I press enter, magic, it actually encloses them with the angle brackets. It gives me a closing header tag as well, and then I can move on to the next one. So we need to make nav. It happens again. Fantastic. We're going to make, oops, make sure I've indented. We need to make an article tag. There it goes. So I'm not even completely writing it all out because I can see it there. I'll press enter. So that's fantastic. And the last one is footer. There we go. And I'll just, oops, didn't want to do that. No. Oh, and now I've got an extra. Get rid of that. Okay, and here's my closing body tag. So let's see what we need to do now. Oh, let's just go back. I haven't saved anything. be dreadful to lose it. So Control S on the index page, Control S on the style page, even though there's nothing there, but that's okay. So back to my instructions. Now remember to be pausing and going and doing. Right, copy this in. You can adjust the content. Currently, using the structure above, you're going to add in some content and the navigation structure. So we can adjust the content. Currently we've got some H2 headings and some P text. We might have a name for our second page as well, but we'd need to create a second HTML page. Alright, so I've got my header area. Now I'm going to copy this because that's interesting. And we're going to see a bit of a change of colour. So here I am, there's my header. So I'm going to do opening angle bracket, explanation mark, hyphen, hyphen. Now that gives me an area where I can write a comment. So this is the header area. Now that's really good to do and get into a good habit. I'm going to do that with all of these. This is my navigation, because sometimes it's really good to be writing or commenting what you have done so that somebody else could read your code, and if something wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing, they could look and go, I think this could be it. I don't want to write article here. I want to write this, the article section. Well, it's called a div, so we'll call it a div, short for division, is where I will put my content. And we'll do this one as well. Angle, explanation mark, hyphen, hyphen, there it goes. This is the footer area. Boom. So that's all done. Now let's go back. So we have just added those bits in, the comments. Now we need to add the content. So we need it in the header. We're going to have an H1, my website. We'll go and do that, and we'll come back. Right, I'm putting my cursor in between header, opening and closing tags, pressing enter, and I'm going to just type in H1, enter, and I can write all about me. So it's going to be my heading. Then I am going to put my navigation structure in. We're going to use an unordered list, and we're going to use list items. So let's go and have a go at that. So I need to put my cursor in between the opening and closing nav tags, hit enter, and the first tag is an unordered list, UL, and that gives us the opening and closing tags. If I press enter, I can now press LI for list. That gives me that, and potentially I've got 2 pages, so I'll do that twice. There it goes. Now, the information or the piece of code that you need for your list item, we're going to use an A tag. So if we press, I've got the cursor in the middle between the opening and closing list tags. If I press A, again I get the option, and it gives me one of these hypertext reference things, and there's 2 little speech marks. I'm just for now going to put a hash in there. It's a placeholder, and then in between the opening A tag and the closing A tag, I've got my cursor. I'm going to put 3 hashes there as a placeholder. And what I have just done is where the explanation, where the speech marks are, I'm going to put the address that it's going to go to, and then where I've put the 3 hashtags, it's going to be the word of what's going to show on the website. So let's do it. So we'll do that first one, and it needs to take us home, but the home page is called index.html. So there we go. And where I've got my 3 hashtags, I'm going to remove them, and I'm going to write home. And we'll be able to see that soon. Better save. Control S. So that is my nav. Let's just check what we're going to put for our article and our footer. So in the article section, we're going to put an H2 tag, so a main heading for content, and we're going to put a P tag, which is paragraph text. We can just write the word content. And in the footer, we're not going to give it a tag as such, but we're just going to write the word footer. So let's leap in over here. So we set a H2. This is a heading, and then I will give it a P tag, and this is my content. Oh, lots and lots of text to read. Alright, and the word footer in there. That's all good. Whoops, we didn't want to do that. Just write the word footer. Alright, let's save it and let's see what it looks like. And actually I can see it's a little bit unhappy, but more about that in a moment. Oh yeah, cool. So I've got my big H1 heading, I've got my navigation, which at the moment goes one after the other. I have got my H2 heading, and I've got my paragraph text, and I've got my little footer there. So that's cool. Let's just go back here, about me, and I can see that it's grumbly. It's got 2 mistakes on it. So I'm looking for yellow things, and here it is. I'm looking at the footer, and I've got my opening footer tag, and I've got a closing footer tag and another closing footer tag. So let's get rid of that and see if it becomes happy. Not quite. It's still unhappy about that. So, can you see what I've done? I've used a capital F there. So if I change that, lowercase, everything's happy. Kaboom. Alright, I'm going to pause this and we'll have another video, and the next one is going to be all about the styling. See you soon.